Earlier this year, we headed to Death Valley National Park where we did our first ever. The website, I'll link to it in the show notes. We first camped off of a dirt road. You just have to drive 1 mile or more down the dirt road and camp in a clearing, something that's been used. You can our campsite the first night, and it was super fun but very bumpy. I definitely wish we'd had like a CVT or something else that was above the ground, but it was beautiful and it was awesome because the campgrounds were closed, but we still got to go on our trip. Early the next morning, we headed to Badwater Basin and the Salt Flats, which was so cool, these naturally forming hexagons. We just had so much fun on the Salt Flats. We tried to get up early and go for sunrise, but just because of the weather, it wasn't really that much of a sunrise that day. It was still really cool. It's also the lowest point in the US, I believe, so it was really cool to be there. We took some pictures and enjoyed it. The GoPro actually died from our dispersed camping because it was so cold at night. It drained our batteries, so we had to charge them. We don't have a ton of video, but definitely visit Badwater Basin when you're there. Really close to Badwater Basin is Natural Bridge, and it's a short hike. It's 2 miles round trip, but it is 1 mile uphill out, and then it'll be 1 mile downhill back. But it's super short, it's gravelly. The Natural Bridge is just a great wonder, and there's also some like dried up waterfalls where you but Natural Bridge, definitely something to do, quick, 2 miles round trip, nice hike. Out this way is Natural Bridge, that's where we just came from. And straight out is Badwater Basin. And we went there this morning. Our GoPro is dead, but we'll have some photo clips for you. I just don't have any video. Definitely an otherworldly park. It's a silly name, but it's the Devil's Golf Course because all these jagged rocks and salts and minerals, which you can see the salt coming out of these rocks right here. It's a beautiful day.
Gower Gulch and Golden Canyon, a 5.8-mile loop, are featured in some portions of the Mandalorian and Star Wars movies. We had a wonderful time creating Mandalorian and Star Wars-like scenes throughout this beautiful, partially shaded hike.
Second night, we camped at Panamint Dunes. It was a 3-mile hike through the dunes, but camping here was very windy, but very The night sky at Panamint Dunes was incredible. We love watching this time lapse over and over.
now, after 3.5 miles hiking back from the dunes, we are at the car. Well, Carly here is our youngest, but she's probably our quickest hiker, and she will just blaze a trail back to the car or to wherever we're going. So I'm a little winded. It got kind of warm down here and we have layers on, so, but it is perfect. We are back, and there are the sand dunes way out there in the distance along with the rest of the family. So this is hiking at Panamint Sand Dunes in Death Valley National Park. Here we are hiking to Darwin Falls in Death Valley National Park. And it is desert but wash in the beginning, and now we're starting to get into the thick of some bushes. You can see the water pipe right here. They do pull water from here for the city, but we're about 3/4 of the way there. It's a mile out and a mile back, and we can't wait to see the waterfall and maybe take some fun little photos up here. Visiting Death Valley National Park, you want to remember that it is extremely hot for a lot of the year. It's a desert, it's dry, there's not a lot of shade, so definitely either plan your trip for the cooler months. We went for New Year's and it was cool the whole time. I mean, we got a little bit hot for a couple hours, but it was just warm. It wasn't even really hot. So definitely plan on the cooler months, or and always bring lots of water, but bring a lot of sun protection if you go in the warmer months.
On New Year's Day, we hiked down to Darwin Falls. We liked crossing small bridges. The waterfall was cool. We tried to take funny pictures, but they didn't.
Leaving Darwin Falls, we headed to a completely different landscape. Again, this park offers so much variety for everyone. We headed straight from Darwin Falls to Mesquite Flat Dunes. Now, our kids weren't excited about hiking across more sand, as we had just hiked 3 miles from Panamint Springs that morning. We'd also visited the Great Sand Dunes National Park in late 2020, and so the kids thought these sand dunes were a little bit small. We'd originally planned to do some sledding and stuff, but we gave it up before we even got there. We did hike out a little bit, and the kids had fun running at us. That's their favorite thing to do on the sand right now. So it's definitely something to go see, but if you're gonna go, I'd recommend Panamint Dunes instead.
Hi.
Next, we went to the Salt Creek Interpretive Trail. This is a fairly short half-a-mile loop. It's on a boardwalk. It is ADA accessible, so folks with wheelchairs can go. It's a beautiful little area. We did find a bluebird, a western bluebird there, so that was kind of cool. Not a lot of water when we went, but if you go optimal time, February to April, kind of in the spring, there is more water. That trail is known for their pupfish, which they do spawn at that time of year, and so that is the best time to visit that trail if you can.
We visited the Harmony Borax Works and enjoyed imagining the 20 meal teams at work.
We also drove the Artist Palette Drive. It's about a half an hour driving loop through the park. Folks who again watch Star Wars might find a familiar place. It was in Episode 4, A New Hope. There are things filmed there. You really want to go during sunset to try to catch the colors. They weren't phenomenal when we went, but we did the best we could.
Our last stop in Death Valley National Park was actually to go to Zabriskie Point. We had hiked below it when we did the Gower Gulch Golden Canyon hike, but we also wanted to see the sunset. We also made this the last stop because we were actually pretty tired and it had been really cold the last 2 nights, so we headed home a day early, only missing a couple of things on our itinerary list, and we just hope to go back again another time. I hope you've enjoyed this video of Death Valley National Park. We hope you get the chance to visit, and if not, we hope you feel like you have through our video. Please follow along on Instagram and here on YouTube at Ash of All Travels.